together. You
I
know,
just say, oh, there it is.
It was a
Okay.
dream come true for me, man. You know, we was trying to work forever.
Dude, I'm trying.
We caught him right before he got here.
I cut drums right before you got
No,
here.
I'll be honest with
edited
you.
them.
I'm not even trying to be whatever, but dude, you that good that I really couldn't tell. It wasn't until you told me like.
And
yeah,
you did it
still
standing
trying to
up.
get it
He was playing the
together.
drum standing up.
I did
He's
it
like,
one
Sam,
take.
I need you to come
You know, I
in.
did that one thing and one take.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, you were like,
right,
yeah,
Sam, I
still
said,
ain't
Sam,
done. I was
run
like,
it.
what are you talking about, man? That sounds good to me. You know, I got into town, and Vance and them were like, yo, man, I really want you to get together with Certified and with T, because you know they got some things. I was like, all right, cool. You know, I went around, made my rounds, reconnected with some of the cats that I worked with off the first album, and just relationships that I had made off the first album. And then I remember he was like, yo, they're free, like today. I forget.
My first question, Glenn, how do you like working with, you know, admire, love, working with these producers?
Oh man, you know, at the risk of sounding like OG, but I kind of am. So, you know, to have an opportunity to work with like producers that are passionate and driven, and it's that energy where they, you know, having the opportunity to get to know P.I., get to know Josh, like, you know, they, to my understanding, played in the church, and you know, working on their craft for a number of years, but now really stepping into establishing Certified as, you know, as legit A-list producers. And they put that time in, and you hear it, you feel it, and it's just fun, you know what I'm saying? They keep it lighthearted, there's jokes, but the energy is good, because it's like, it's great to be able to work with people that appreciate the moments. You know, sometimes, you know, with life, not to get overly philosophical and deep or anything like that, but, you know, sometimes people, it's just like, it's a check at the end of the day. I never once got that feeling. Like, and I know the difference. You know, I got in here and Cass was just, it was real brotherly. It was real like, you know, I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but anyway, but it was cool. You know what I mean? It was real cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, you know, but anyway, all right, I'm going to step away from that. But yes, very positive vibes, and you know, these cats, this is just the beginning. It's really just the beginning. Like, you know, they got, you know, you feel the heart, you feel the passion, the diversity, you know, how they switch up things. They can do it all. Like, you know, I've heard from hip-hop tracks to, you know, R&B joints. These guys can do whatever. They give you whatever. And, like, the beauty of it all is the trying to craft something specifically for an artist. Like, even when they were playing the tracks, it was like, you know, this is how I interpret where you are, but there's still the respect of, you know, they still gave me the respect of, but let me know, you know, what you feel, what you're trying to do. It's just, you know, just professionalism from beginning to end, just the consummate professionals, you know what I'm saying? And to find that at such a young age, it's really impressive. These guys, you know, they got a future in this. You know what I'm saying? Like they got longevity.
Glenn, I mean, I'm a singer. Glenn is a legend, like, vocally. You know what I'm saying? Like, females, they have, like, Whitney Houston and Brandy. Like, Glenn is a reference. Like, if you sing, everybody that sings right now sings his records and practices his runs. So, it was a dream come true for me to be in a lab with him. And it's been, like, years in the making.
I mean, I was actually at the airport the day they were cutting, so I didn't get the pleasure of being in the same room, but when I came back from my trip and I heard it, I was just like blown away by the records was so incredible. It was just he nailed it. I mean, it was just I talked to him on the phone, right? I think I talked to you just like briefly and heard it on the phone, and it sounded really good. When I got here, it was just like, wow.
I mean, for me, it was definitely almost like not so much magical, but almost like a, you know, pinch yourself. Just for me, just maybe he doesn't know, but like growing up, I remember specifically watching TV, MTV and stuff like that, and watching the video. You know what I mean? And watching all that go on. You know what I mean? So like me, you know, a couple years later, getting in the studio and actually working with Glenn, it was definitely like a wow moment. Like, you know, definitely a blessing in disguise. Like, you know, you look to work with those people that are just great at what they do.
How do you feel Glenn fits in with that whole R&B resurgence and renaissance?
I believe that it's just right on time. Like if you create, you can kind of predict what people are going to be on and what the vibe is like leaning towards, and with the Adeles and Justin Timberlake's, and you know, they're basically doing soul music, you know, R&B music, and it's like, you know, we had a lot of artists that were like straying away from it, but it's like now, like it's like the perfect time, like the world, everybody's anticipating just a re-emergence of like great music, just great soul music, great R&B music, great music, period. And like I said, not too many people can sing it.
The album sounds timeless to me, just more not a specific trend or a year or whatever. It's just like a solid R&B album, not a just a passing phase. It's something that I think will still be able to
And
resonate,
generation
you know,
needs
years
like
later.
classic albums like D'Angelo, Brown Sugar, and all of the different albums. Like they need soundtracks that they like too, like stuff that they can relate to, love and, you know, hope and all that type of stuff that's missing in the music. So, you know, like to be able to create a whole body of work. I
That's to play off
I'm
that.
just excited
That's
about
bringing real music back. Like that's what's coming back. Like I mean, he's not following, but just upholding that trend that he's been about. You know what I mean? That's what this album did, is chase the music. Chase, like he said, he worked on it one song at a time. He chased great records and just made a compilation of what he loved. You know?
Okay. Well, speaking of great records, the single Can't Say Love is produced by CertiFYD. How's it feel to have a single, you know, coming out on Ruffhouse Records, Glenn Lewis for Moment of Truth, Can't Say Love produced by CertiFYD? How's that feel? Because y'all are the first out the gate. And
It's incredible, man. That sums it up for me. It's just incredible. Like I'm so super excited, and the opportunity I can't wait to officially come out. The video, just everything is just a real blessing. So for me, I mean, it's incredible.
It's a moment. It's our first, single that's coming. And it's with Glenn Lewis. You know what I mean? Written by Latif, and it's almost like, when you look back at those records, and I say this with my hair standing up, because if it wasn't for him up there, none of this would be happening at all. So it's like when you look back and almost on Instagram, you look back and you see them lineups and them guys in the room, and you see Michael, and you see this guy, you see Steve.
It was like even the process was divine. Like I don't remember. Like that's how you know it's divine. Like because you don't remember nothing about it. It's just done. You know what I'm saying? Like the song is, you like, wait a minute. Like I can't even think about like what I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about anything. It was just like God. Like,
I remember what you was thinking about. You was thinking you was cracking the whip. Like, no, you can get that right. Hit that line again, dog. That ain't it.
Wait, like, that's the further. Like, you was like, you told me though. You was like, yo, just tell me like.
Oh no, I
was like,
I just didn't know what I was walking into. Like, no.
When you told me, you gave me the license. Like, yo, look. Dude.
No, it was real in here that day.
You was singing, man.
And that was the greater thing about the whole situation and just the experience of it. Watching somebody like yourself letting others push you further, you know what I mean, to the max. Like, you didn't have an ego in the room, and that's the biggest thing. People, we were just talking about that, about egos. It's like, music is such a vibe, you know what I mean? And it's like, I say this all the time, it's almost cliche, like those great records back in the day were made by a group of people having a vibe.
About it is like, the only way you get to moments that matter in music is the understanding that everybody brings. And we still have yet to see how it's going to be received, but we've all had an opportunity to see people's reactions so far to the record. And I know for me, the funny thing is, while you're doing it, you don't always know. Like, while I was doing it, I was like, this is a good record. But I didn't know that people would push for it to be the single, like the lead-off single song. Okay. So I've also learned the importance of, I have to, I will walk in the room knowing what I know, my comfort zone, But I've also learned that, you know, in this business you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to allow people to challenge you, or else you're not going to get to the next thing. And that's for all of us. Like, you know, each person we meet, you know, you're a blessing to me, I'm a blessing to you. You're a test to me, I'm a test to you. You might do something that creates a certain vibe in the room, but out of that tension even can create an incredible moment in music. Because it's weird, like some people don't know, but some certain records, people be behind the mic pissed off the engineer, the producer, whatever. Or you might go in and you just get off the phone with, you know, whomever, girl, da-da-da-da, and you going to lay down a track and it takes you somewhere. And it's just funny how all those elements, you know, you look up and then you have this finished product and you see how it can affect people, regardless of whatever you might be going through. But that was the catalyst. That's what God put in the room in order for it to. You just have to be have a willingness to let it happen. I'm talking a lot on that.
Nah.
but you know,
jewelry on it,
you know what I mean. But you know what I'm trying to get at. Like, just listen to what you guys are saying. It's like, it's funny to me to hear like stories. I mean, most of the greats, most great artists. So, you know, hopefully I can maybe, you know, call myself in that pile. But most great artists, they don't do that. I hear stories about a lot of great artists that producers will be like, man, listen, this is where we go. He or she can you guys. I got a chance to do that record. You guys thought that record was right for me, but it started with you first.
Glenn connects to the Philly music scene, or fits into the Philly music scene as a part of the whole, you know, from when he started to even now, and the producers he works with, etc.
He's the foundation of the Philly music scene. Like, you know, Jill Scott, and Bilal and music, Jaguar Wright, and The Roots, you know what I'm saying? Just this whole Jasmine Sullivan and Glenn Lewis. Marsha Ambrosius and Glenn Lewis. Like, you can't start that conversation without including them. So.
Say I like, maybe I care, maybe I feel deeply, but no, not love. No, not without. I can't say love. No, not without you. Can't say that word, love. Not without you. Say I like, maybe I care, maybe I feel deeply, but no, not love. No, love's only for you, girl. How we ended up apart, I try to make sense of it, then I stop. Because of you, I know what real feels like. Impossible for me to find that twice. Where to you, baby? Oh, the flyest young lady alive. See, I always be missing your vibe. Girl, I'm tired of living a lie. No matter who I'm with, what's so crazy is having